This magnificent house behind me was the childhood home of one young lady who had the misfortune of marrying King Henry VIII. Find out which of his 6 wives grew up here in just a few moments. Today we're helping a London couple escape the noise and pollution of the big smoke for the fresh air and quiet of the countryside, and it's not all plain sailing.
This doesn't feel like a home. Right. It feels like a house.
Or it feels like a show home.
Yeah.
But finally we come up trumps.
Oh, wow.
That is really pretty. Super gorgeous.
Today I'm in Kent, and this is Hever Castle, where Anne Boleyn was lucky enough to spend her early years before losing her head as the second wife of Henry VIII. 4 centuries on, the American entrepreneur William Waldorf Astor bought this house and upsized it in every way. He employed over 700 craftsmen to build a whole new Tudor-style wing. Now, later on in the show, I'll be taking a closer look at this lavish restoration, just one of the great treasures this county is home to. In the south-east corner of Britain, tucked between London and the English Channel, Kent is thought to be the oldest county in England. Celebrated for its rich farmland and fruit orchards, it's also known for its brewing industry, where hops were once dried in distinctive conical-shaped oast houses that still dot the landscape. Gentle rolling hills, downland and wooded valleys sit alongside the county's architectural heritage, with historic towns like Royal Tunbridge Wells, which developed as a spa resort over 400 years ago. Sitting on the nation's front line, Kent boasts more than 18 spectacular castles, including Sissinghurst, with its world-famous garden. And while the excellent transport routes into London make Kent prime commuter territory, it does inflate property prices. You'll find the average detached home here costs £316,000. That's around £60,000 above the national figure. Now, places that command a premium include sought-after villages like Chiddingstone, Ightham and Fordcombe in the north and northwest of the county. However, if you travel east towards the peaceful pockets around Maidstone and Canterbury, you'll find you get more home for your money. So let's meet today's buyers and find out why they're drawn to Kent. Married for 5 years, Dan and Celia currently live in a rented 3-bedroom house in Greenwich, southeast London. But now, disenchanted with city living, they're on the hunt for a country home in which to raise their young family.
It is extremely built up here. We're overlooked by a massive tower block. We've got a bit of a walk to get to any green space at all. And it would be nice to sort of leave behind the concrete jungle and move somewhere where there's a bit more fresh air and a bit more space.
And also not hearing police sirens would be really nice all the time. But yeah, it's time to just move on and move out.
Having enjoyed a rural childhood themselves, Celia and Dan are keen that their 3-year-old son Ned and 6-month-old daughter Clem have the same opportunities.
In the countryside, the kids will have more freedom. I mean, I spent my summers, building dams in streams and climbing trees and things, and I have this vision that they'll be able to get on their bikes and cycle around to people's houses, which perhaps I wouldn't feel very comfortable them doing in a busy town like Greenwich.
With Dr. Celia working in central London and dentist Dan on the southeast edge of the capital, they want to keep commuting time to a minimum, but still enjoy all the elements of a country life.
I'd like to move into a village, be part of a sort of a smaller community than Greenwich is a nice community, but it's a very big community. It would be nice to live somewhere a bit smaller where you know a few more people. I'd like the children just to go to a local school.
As a keen cyclist, Dan is looking forward to having a choice of scenic routes right on his doorstep.
When I do go riding, I spend like a good hour, hour and a half to get to the countryside, because that's where we go riding or where we go running. So it'd be nice to already be there.
And the whole family plan to spend as much time as possible indulging their passion for the great outdoors.
We're quite into camping and we've got our van. We haven't been getting out to the countryside as much as we'd like to have done. So I've already checked out some campsites around Kent that would have us in our van, and hopefully we'll get out a bit more and sort of instill a love of the countryside in the kids while they're so little.
But as well as the space of the open countryside, Dan and Celia are looking for a house big enough for their 2 small children and Dan's 11-year-old daughter, Megan.
It would be nice to have a 5-bedroom house, because when Megan comes to stay with us at the weekends, she ends up staying on a blow-up bed in Clem's room. So it'd be nice to have extra space for her to have her own room.
We're bursting out at the seams. We haven't got room to store all Dan's bike stuff and all of our ski stuff and whatever. So I'm really looking forward to moving somewhere where we have a garage where these umpteen bikes can be stored and not cluttering up my hallway and my kitchen.
This will be the first property Dan and Celia are buying together, and it's crucial they make the right choice.
We do plan on just moving once and then staying there, hopefully, for a long time. So it will change our life in a massive way. Be very exciting, and it'll be nice to have a place that's actually ours.
It's a major decision, so what have they set aside for their dream home?
Top end of the budget to spend probably would be between £850,000 to £900,000.
Dan and Celia are interested in the area close to the market town of Tunbridge, 4 miles north of Tunbridge Wells and around 30 miles southeast of London. I'm meeting them in situ to find out just what kind of property they have in mind.
Well, Dan and Celia, welcome to Kent.
Thank you.
This is an important purchase for you two, isn't it? Come on, tell us more.
Well, this will be the first house that we bought together, so it's quite exciting.
So what's important then for you both? Is it the house? Is it the location? What's the priority?
I think in terms of our quality of life, probably it's the location, because we want a decent school for the kids to go to. We want to, both of us, not have too much of a horrible commute to work.
Tell us a little bit about the home that you're looking for in your eyes.
Ideally detached, oldie, worldy, a little bit quirky.
We'd like 5 bedrooms because we've got 3 children. And it would be nice to have some space for people to come and visit and so on. And if possible, it would be nice to have a playroom.
Remind us how much we've got to spend.
We are lucky enough to have a budget of £850,000.
OK. And is there any flexibility on that, or is that the limit?
I suppose for the perfect house, we would be able to go up to about £900,000.
Well, we've got 3 properties lined up to show you, driving around this beautiful county. So, should we get started?
Yeah.
With a generous budget of up to £900,000, our buyers are looking for a detached character property with 5 bedrooms and a spacious kitchen diner. They'd like a garden large enough for the children to play in, access to excellent rail and road links as they both will be commuting to work, and they're looking for a good local primary school. We found 3 contrasting properties to tempt them with. At each one, I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. The last is the mystery house, which, while straying from the wish list, might just bowl them over. So it's time to head to our first property. As we're driving around, it's hard to believe we're not that far from the city.
I know, yeah.
It's extraordinary that within an hour of where we live, you can be in such a rural place, you know, with almost unmade-up roads and so much beautiful countryside around. I've been really surprised.
And plenty of paths to cycle and walk, I believe, and run for you, Dan.
Yeah, very much so. Out in the country, obviously, there's less cars, less traffic. It's a lot nicer for someone on a bike to be just riding around.
Less pollution. We're testing Dan and Celia with our first property, which is on the edge of Tunbridge. It offers the convenience they're after, but will it give them enough of that country feel? Built around the River Medway with over 150 listed buildings, including its very own castle, Tunbridge also offers excellent primary schools and all the shops and amenities our buyers would need. With great train and road connections into London, they could both be at work in less than an hour.
So, here is
Oh, wow.
our first property.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Looks stunning, doesn't it? Is this what you had in mind when you were thinking of moving, or...?
It's perhaps a little more urban than we'd expected, but actually there's some benefits of being on the edge of a town. I think when the children get older, it means they can walk places, we're not going to have to drive them everywhere. So there's pros and cons to it, definitely.
Yeah, something to weigh up, isn't it? Should we start the tour?
Yeah.
Built in 1957, this house has been extended and the space provides a substantial family home.
Gosh, it's lovely and light.
Plenty of windows.
Yeah.
which is
And
great.
Wow, I love
Gorgeous
the
fire.
fireplace.
Different from where you are at the moment?
You could fit our whole house in this.
Every room then is going to be spacious for you two. How lovely.
I know. It does seem very grown up to have a house this big.
Yeah.
Well, should we continue to the kitchen?
Yeah.
So you've got the kitchen here, so long and thin, but then it does lead into a separate area. You've got a informal dining there at the end.
That's really nice to have space for a sort of family kitchen table.
So this is where the original house ended. So you could look at opening that out a little bit more.
Wow, that would be a big space if this was all opened out, wouldn't it?
And there's another room through here,
Yeah,
which
I was
I've
gonna
got an
say.
idea for. Makes a great office. But what about if you took away that wall?
And made
And
a
opened it
huge-
all out.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Amazing for the children.
Yeah.
And you can keep an eye on them because you're in the kitchen, they've got access to the garden, but what a great area. And it's away from the rest of the
It would
house.
be so big.
Yeah, that would be lovely. So I sort of have this vision of a great big kitchen table that everyone can sit around, and that would be really nice.
I think it would transform the downstairs
Yeah.
if you could open it up.
Absolutely.
Just behind us, you've actually got a dining area, a separate room.
Right.
Probably people of our generation would be less likely to use a formal dining room, and you're more likely to entertain your friends on the side of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So maybe you could put the kids' stuff in there.
That could be the children's
Yeah,
playroom.
yeah.
There we are, we've got it sorted. Now we're going to go upstairs and see the bedrooms. Upstairs are 3 good-sized rooms, all with built-in cupboards, a light, spacious double, and a family bathroom. Plus, there's an impressive master suite. So lots of bedrooms with this property. How do you fancy having your own ensuite,
Yeah,
dressing
are we
room,
allowed to have a
loads
little
of
look?
space? Go on, poke your head in.
Oh, right. Oh, it goes on.
Wow. Dressing room and bathroom. It's huge.
Terrific.
Dan and Celia seem happy with the room inside the house. There's also a basement with a games room and a large wine cellar. I'm just hoping the garden won't disappoint. There's a large patio and lawn with mature trees and shrubs, plus 2 garages to accommodate their camper van and Dan's bikes. So you've got a beautifully presented mature garden.
It's not overlooked at all, is it? Which, you know, considering there are other houses around, that's really nice. It's a decent-sized plot.
Yes, and you've got the front garden as well.
and it's plenty big enough for the kids to have a game of football or whatever, so that would be absolutely fine.
So, who wants to go first with Guess the Price?
About £825,000.
I've had a look at some of the houses around that you can walk into Tunbridge from around here.
research. This is a bit
And
unfair.
I think it would be more than that, quite a lot more than that, with this amount of garden and in such good condition and such an attractive house. I'd probably say we're looking at more like 875.
I'm sorry to tell you that one of you is wrong and one of you is bang on the money. £875,000. Do you fancy having another look around with that price in mind? Take a long look at that property, all the rooms, what adjustments perhaps you can make. Off you go. Enjoy.
Thanks.
At £875,000, this house is under their maximum budget. It has the 5 bedrooms they've asked for, a kitchen diner, space for a playroom, a generous garden for the children, and the location makes for an easy commute.
I reckon we could shut Ned in here with the ping pong table.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It'd keep him occupied for hours.
Oh, yeah. From my point of view, this house has given me a massive food for thought. For it to be in our style, in our taste, we'd have to do some remodelling, redecorating.
It's less rural than what we'd been thinking about, but I can see all the merits of actually living here, close to Tunbridge, close to train lines and so on.
Are you happy? Have you seen enough?
Yeah, very much so.
So that's our first house done. So we get moving now?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Kent's ancient woodland covers more area than nearly any other county in England and provides a rich habitat for wildlife. Dan and Celia are looking forward to exploring the woods as a family once they move here. And we thought they would enjoy learning some new bush skills that they could try out together with the children. We sent them to woodland near the town of Tenterton in the Kentish Weald to meet expert woodsman and bushcraft leader Phil Brown.
Hiya.
Hi.
I'm Phil.
Hi, I'm Dan.
Dan, nice to
This
meet you.
is Celia.
Celia, good to meet you. How you doing? I'm going to show you some bushcraft and survival skills out in the Kentish woodland today. Do you have children at all?
Yeah, we do, yeah, 3.
Fantastic. OK, well, hopefully some of those skills you'll be able to take forward with your kids and have a bit of fun outdoors.
Excellent.
Dan and Celia are already keen campers, but Phil is going to teach them how to build a shelter using the natural materials all around them in the woods.
So we've got the ridgepole here and 2 forked sticks, OK? What we're going to do is we're going to put the base of the ridgepole up against this big oak tree, which isn't going to move. Just making sure that these
Okay.
interlock. That is how we're going to make our shelter. We're going to lean pieces of wood all the way down this, OK? If you guys want to start having a look
sure,
around, seeing what you can find.
Along with oak trees, the main species in this part of the woods is hornbeam. Used for the hammers on piano keys and the teeth on watermills and windmills, it's particularly strong and ideal for building a sturdy shelter.
You can do one side, I'll do the other.
We'll see which one leaks.
But that's looking really, really good.
Come on, Celia, your side's looking pretty poor. You go. I'm absolutely amazed by the fact that how this is looking even after, what, 10, 15 minutes? And you say you slept a night in one of these things?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah?
Yeah, tried them various different seasons. I did have a time when I've been out for a week or so and hadn't shaved and had a bit of stubble, and I woke up in the morning and had slugs squashed into a beard.
All right.
Yeah, fond memories. OK, this is looking really good now, guys. For the thatching, this is what's going to take the time, and it's going to spend up a bit of energy, and you're going to get a bit dirty, unfortunately. What we're going to do is we're going to scrape up the leaves around us. So this is where the work begins, guys. You've had it easy up until now.
Right, let's go.
The leaves are packed tight over the frame to form a thatched roof on the shelter, making it watertight.
What do you think, Phil?
It's great. No, it's good effort.
Definitely learned something today.
Good, and got a bit dirty as well.
A little bit, yeah.
Fantastic.
Get my countryside hands on.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they've learned how to make a temporary shelter, it's time to get on with a hunt for Dan and Celia's permanent home in the country. Our second house is located in the village of Chart Sutton, around 13 miles west of Tunbridge. Staplehurst, 3 miles south of the property, offers a good selection of local shops, some traditional pubs and a library, plus the all-important mainline rail service into London.
Let me show you our second property.
Wow.
Wow. OK.
That's beautiful.
2 wows, that makes highly. So the house itself is about 100 years old, extended about 30, 35 years ago. Are you eager to step inside?
Yes, very much so.
This may look like a classic character property, but the interior is quite a surprise.
So it's not quite the cottage it looks from the outside, is it?
It's enormous.
It's huge.
Surprised?
Oh, it's a bit mind-boggling, isn't it?
It looks
huge.
really small from the outside, and in here it's like a TARDIS.
Yeah. Everywhere downstairs has got underfloor heating with its own thermostat so you can change as you go along. As big a sitting room as you could possibly want. And then if you keep looking through, there's a door. And through there's like a media room at the moment. That's how they use it when the grandchildren come to stay. But that could be the children's play area.
Brilliant.
How do you feel as you walk in?
I'm a bit mind-blown, to be honest with you. I didn't expect it to be a big room like this. Judging by looking from the outside, I thought it'd be lots of small compartments.
So do you want to see the next bit? See the kitchen?
Absolutely.
And if you like a lot of space in your kitchen, it's taken your breath away, hasn't
It's
it?
enormous.
This all looks brand new.
It is, actually. It's been here about 1.5 years. So you've got granite work surfaces all the way around, huge island in the middle,
2 ovens at the end, so much storage space.
Yeah, it's a lot smarter than any kitchen I've ever had. It seems, yeah, it's quite sort of grown up.
Is it too much for you? I know
I think
sometimes...
it is. I think it is too much, yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Is it too sort of smart, do you think? Is that all you're getting at? Is it too smart for your...
It's not to my taste, but if it's only a year old, then I wouldn't dream of changing it, do you know what I mean?
I think my problem is that this doesn't feel like a home.
Right.
It feels like a house.
Or it feels like a show home.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue upstairs now.
Leading off the generous living room is a large conservatory overlooking the garden and the open countryside. But despite all the space, it seems Dan and Celia can't imagine themselves in this property. Maybe they'll be more taken with the upstairs.
Now, before we look at bedrooms, I have to show you this.
Wow!
Step inside. It is the most amazing shower. Power shower, jets everywhere. It's actually a double shower, but we're not
room for two.
We're not going to go into that. You have a bath, a jacuzzi.
You have the whole family in there.
I'm going to bring you back to reality and show you the bedrooms now.
Okay.
So we have a very light and spacious master bedroom with ensuite. Plenty of space.
Loads of light.
Yeah.
Wow, this has got a lot of light and beautiful views out the windows.
Yeah, really nice to have the kind of 2 aspect views. And high ceilings. It doesn't feel cottagey inside, it feels big.
And this is the old part of the property as well.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 bedrooms in total, 1 single, 4 doubles, 2 of those are en suite.
Right, okay.
So when your guests come to stay,
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be very happy.
yep, and then you've got your family bathroom as well. Now, how would you feel waking up with that view?
Extremely
yeah,
lucky.
And the
Absolutely.
children as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I
just...
mean, absolutely.
It's an idyllic spot.
Well, let's head back outside. Got some outbuildings to point out to you, and also we are going to have to discuss money. So the total outside space, it is pretty impressive. So you've got an outbuilding there. A little bit of work's been done on it, but there's piping, everything's in there. Next door to that, you've got a sauna and a hot tub, huge garage, carport, and then we start on the land. In total, there's 4 acres, including the footprint of the property. So if you follow the conifer trees down, past the Gigi in the field, all the way up, right to the back, and then it comes all the way around here, and then you've got the play area right at the back for the children.
It's a big chunk of England.
It is. So should we walk around to the front of the property and talk about money?
Yeah.
Having guessed the exact price of the last house, can Celia do it again?
Why don't you bring you to the front of the property? Looks attractive, doesn't it?
Very attractive.
I really like the Kentish clapboard. We've seen a lot of these houses driving around. I think they're really, really pretty.
Cecilia, I think it's your turn to go first, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's a big house. It's been newly done up and it's got masses of land, so I can't imagine all that would come very cheap. I'll have another stab at 875.
Right. How about you, Dan? Guess the price.
I think very similar. Very similar.
You can agree.
But I would say slightly cheaper. Maybe 860.
Right, interesting. Asking price is £850,000.
Oh, right, okay.
Surprised?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely surprised.
Why don't you have a second look around and I'll meet you out the back door in true country style.
Lovely, thanks.
Thanks.
See you when you're ready.
On the market for £850,000, this modernised period property is well under Dan and Celia's maximum budget. It has the desired 5 bedrooms, plenty of space for a playroom, 4 acres of land, and all within a rural countryside location, but still only an hour's commute to London.
I love the location, I love all this land, and it really feels like you're in the country, which I think, you know, is probably what we're after. But I'm a bit less enamoured on the inside. The reason I like old properties is that they tend to have old quirky features inside, and you know, this has been stripped bare of all of those and done to a very, very high standard, but you know, not to my taste, and you can't really replace those old features once they've gone.
This house is a paradox. It's beautiful on the outside,
and oldie worldy, 100 years old on the outside, but when you walk in on the inside, it just feels like a new build. So to make it feel oldie worldy and 100 years old in the inside would be a lot of work.
Happy, you two?
Thank you.
And what a glorious end to our day. Sun shining in the countryside.
It's gorgeous. It certainly feels a million miles from London.
Yeah. We've given you some thinking to do now, haven't
You
we, with
have.
these properties?
Yeah.
It's the second day of our house hunt in Kent with London couple Dan and Celia. They have a generous budget of up to £900,000 to spend on a rural family home. Coming up, it seems it's love at first sight at our mystery house.
This is absolutely beautiful.
Unbelievable.
And I visit historic Hever Castle where Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII did their courting. Now that is what I call a view. Now, yesterday we showed Dan and Celia a country home right on the edge of their preferred location of Tunbridge, with all the convenience close to hand. Our second property, the cottage, well, it had had an extensive makeover, but was surrounded by rolling countryside. And it seemed to me the couple were in a real quandary. Do they want the convenience of being on the doorstep of a major town versus the country rural idyll? Today, we're going to show them a mystery house. That is a beautiful home right next to a stunning village with a school, but it's in a part of the county they've never considered before. Let's see how we get on. We're taking a risk with our mystery house, travelling around 30 miles southeast of Tunbridge, where you get more property for your pound, but it makes for a longer commute to their work in London. However, this property has real period charm, and I think it could be made for them. Have you thought about what we might be taking you to see at all?
I have, and I'm really quite nervous. I'm really nervous. It could be a more extreme version of either two of the houses. I'd like to think it's a good bit for both of them.
What would be your worst nightmare?
A new build on an estate.
Yeah.
Our third and final property is just outside the small village of Mersham. There's a church, a couple of pubs and village shops here, but although the road connections are good, it would mean a longer drive to work for Dan, and Celia would have to travel 3 miles to Ashford to catch the train to London. Well, I've got to ask you, education, how important is it on a scale of 1 to 10 for your little ones?
In the top two, definitely.
2. Well, this could be your local village school.
That's lovely.
Got a good ranking for Ofsted last year. It's got about 200 pupils. So if you buy the mystery house, this could be their local primary school. So you ready for our mystery house?
Absolutely.
Come on. This timber-framed manor house is Grade 2 listed and is thought to date back to the 16th century. So, I'm bringing you to see our final property. I know this is a very important move. It's the first time you'll have bought a house together. You want this to be your forever home for the next 20 or 30 years. Dan and Celia, this is your mystery house. Take a look.
Oh, wow.
That is really pretty.
Oh, wow, that is beautiful.
Super, super gorgeous.
Shall we start the grand tour?
Yes, let's.
Very much so.
So, I have to say welcome.
Wow. That's absolutely beautiful.
Unbelievable.
It's hard to believe this is a home, isn't it?
Yeah.
How keen are you to get started?
Oh, my God,
Desperate.
Right, should we start with the kitchen?
Yep.
Kitchen first. So you might have a period house, but you've got a fantastic modern kitchen.
But done in such a nice style. You know, it really fits with the feel of the house.
It does.
It's just lovely. I love the big kind of open range at the end.
Would you change anything here?
No, not at all.
I'd be very happy for this to be my
You
kitchen,
just walk
indeed.
straight into this, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, this is absolutely beautiful.
We've surprised you, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm a bit blown away, yeah. It's really nice.
It's not often you get to see the inside of a house like this, let alone being told it's one you could potentially own.
Could be your future home.
Goodness life.
So, Dan, if you want to lead through or keep going.
Mind your head. Oh, wow.
Look at the fire.
I want to see your faces.
Oh my goodness, this is exactly what you expect from like a country cottage or a country house.
Look at this.
It's just...
So if you think the
stunning.
house is old, those beams are ship's beams. So they're going to be even older. They could be 150 years older than this house even.
What I've seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like we're in some sort of national trust property, not somewhere where you potentially would be allowed to live, but it's still got a lovely feel to it. It's gorgeous.
If I was to imagine any house, this would be it. Just from the walk up the drive, everything. The beams, the fire. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
absolutely,
it's gorgeous.
it's amazing.
The ground floor also offers an elegant dining room with another original fireplace, a small office and wine cellar. Upstairs there are 2 floors. At the top of the house is a bedroom and bathroom, ideal for visiting guests. The first floor consists of a family bathroom and 3 more spacious bedrooms, including a show-stopping ensuite master.
It's enormous. I was expecting pokey little bedrooms.
Even enough room for a sofa in it. But there is more. Used to be a dressing room. It's now an ensuite.
An ensuite in a
kidding.
medieval house, I don't believe it.
Kidding.
There we are. Should we head outside?
Yeah.
Dan and Celia clearly love what they've seen so far, and I wonder what they'll make of the grounds.
So you've got all this, but I just want you to take another look. That is what you call a period property.
Absolutely, it's idyllic. It really is.
A couple of other things I wanted to mention. As you can see, we've also got a cottage here. It used to be the hayloft. It's got a bedroom, a massive bedroom with 3 beds in it, kitchen, sitting area, self-contained. You've also got a double garage there and a studio flat. And if that wasn't enough, you have 3 acres of land in total.
Goodness.
How much, though, is it on the market for? We've now got to get serious, haven't we?
You can go first.
I would have thought this would be double our budget. I mean, really.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I'm
kind of
surprised. I don't
puzzled as
think
to
we
why
can
you
afford it.
brought us to here, because I couldn't imagine that all of this would be less than £1 million.
Yeah.
Really?
So what do you want to say? What's your figure? $1 million?
Yeah.
OK.
I'd actually almost agree with her. It's just slightly under. I don't think we can afford it, but I think it's still just shy under $1 million.
Are you ready? The asking price for this amazing property, £895,000.
I think it would be an honour to live somewhere like this. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked that it's even within our grasp.
So please go and explore. Take as long as you like. You've got a lot to see. You've also got an awful lot to think about, haven't you?
We certainly have.
See you later.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.
I can honestly say that has to be one of the most amazing house tours I have ever done. Houses like that just don't come on the market, certainly at that price, very often. I've just got my fingers crossed that they do think it's their future home together.
At £895,000, this house is just inside Dan and Celia's maximum budget. It has a total of 6 bedrooms, 4 being in the main house and 2 more in the outbuildings, heaps of period features, 3 acres of gardens, plus a good primary school for the children close by, but it would make a longer journey into work.
I thought the bathroom would be crammed into a tiny little dark room, but this is like a super luxury, smart hotel bathroom. Isn't it gorgeous? But still in keeping with the oldness of the house. I love the black and white. Oh, this is like a little tiny doll bedroom. This is beautiful. This is like my dream bedroom when I was a little girl. This is a really lovely house.
This is really nice.
You know, we've always said we like quirky buildings, we like houses without straight lines in them, and this has got it in spades, you know, it really has. It's absolutely beautiful. Because it's not in a location we've ever thought about before, I've now got to sort of slightly get my head around that. and wonder how we could make that work with both of our jobs, because you don't want to move somewhere and then, you know, your quality of life to drop because you've both got a 2-hour commute.
We're a little bit further out of London, yes, I admit that. And I think I'm prepared to compromise the distance, the commute, for this amazing house.
Dare I drag you both away?
I'd rather stay inside, actually.
Would you?
Yeah.
That's a really good sign, but don't give too much away because we're going to have that chat.
Yes.
We've shown Dan and Celia 3 amazing houses in Kent, and there are plenty more to choose from if you, like them, are looking to relocate to the county. 17 miles southeast of Tunbridge, this weatherboarded house, a common sight in the Kentish countryside, is a treat, offering 3 bedrooms and exposed beams. It's on the market for £450,000. And for those property hunting on a lower budget, this 2-bedroom Victorian cottage close to Tunbridge offers a large living and dining area and contemporary kitchen. It's on the market for £249,950. One of Kent's most famous historic houses is the stunning 13th century Hever Castle near Edenbridge. Best known as the childhood home of Anne Boleyn, second wife of Henry VIII, it's now one of the county's most popular tourist attractions. I'm meeting Chief Executive Duncan Leslie to delve into the castle's extraordinary history. Duncan, great to meet you, and I have to say, I have a real passion for anything to do with the Tudor period, and Anne Boleyn's family had connections, didn't they, to Hever Castle?
Absolutely. This was their main home. They needed a home that was quite close to London, and we're only 21 miles as the crow flies to London, so she would have spent a lot of her formative years here before going off to France, and then obviously she came back here and spent a lot of time here when Henry VIII was actually courting her.
So what happened to the castle after she left?
Henry VIII actually gave Hever Castle to another of his ex-wives, to Anne of Cleves.
No.
As part of the divorce settlement. So Anne of Cleves lived here for 16 years.
Oh my God, 2 out of the 6 wives lived here.
That's right, yes.
Over the years, the castle was owned by a number of prominent families, but had fallen into disrepair when it was bought by wealthy American William Wardorf Astor in 1903. He set about lovingly restoring it at enormous expense. My word.
This just gives an idea of the sort of workmanship.
I mean, we're talking hundreds, thousands of hours of work.
And bear in mind, it's not just this room here, it's the whole castle.
The gardens as well.
There is. I mean, there were 600 or 700 people working in here, but I think just for the lake there was 800 people, and then there was, I think, another 150 in the gardens. So come and have a look.
My goodness. It's hard to believe the elaborate gardens around the castle were just marshland before Astor embarked on his massive restoration project. Now that is what I call a view.
This was just fields. He wanted a lake. So 800 men were employed for 2.5 years digging this lake by hand. This garden, the Italian Gardens, was built just for his statue collection. He had about 150 items and he needed somewhere to put it, and so he built this garden for it.
I wonder if he had any idea that we'd be appreciating this huge investment 100 years later.
I think he did want to leave something behind that he would be remembered by, and I suspect he's probably succeeded.
It's 110 years since Astor bought the castle, and to mark the anniversary, the Japanese tea house on the lake is being rebuilt. I'm meeting landscape designer Simon Scott, who's overseeing the project. So these dragons, were they on the original building?
They are hopefully something similar to what was on the original building.
The tea house was taken down in the 1930s to make space for a pillbox, a dug-in guard post, built as part of British anti-invasion preparations during the Second World War. Now, Simon's job is to try and recreate it as accurately as possible.
A lot of the records and photos were lost during a flood in 1968. The only bits we have got is the existing roof, the original roof, which is here on top of a pillbox. The only other bits we know about the tea house was a pensioner who lives in the village remembers taking down the original tea house to make way, and the only bits he actually remembers are the roof and the gold dragons. So all you do here is just nice little circling motion just to get right into all the cracks, and then just brush it out a little bit.
So we can see the tea house is nearly completed. Would the public have access to it?
What the castle are trying to do is to take the essence of the original building and create something that everyone can enjoy the views of the lakes.
I must admit, I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing it completed in all its grandeur. And I'll be wondering, which of those dragons on the corner did I help paint?
If everything goes to plan, they should be finished here in a couple of weeks. And I can't think of a more relaxing place to come and enjoy a cup of tea.
Well, that's it. Our house hunt here in Kent is over. And I think Dan and Celia's reaction to our mystery house said it all. But is it enough for them to put in an offer? Let's find out. Well, out of the 3 houses we've shown you here in Kent, there is one that I want to talk about. And it is our mystery house. And my goodness, did we get fantastic reactions.
Fireworks.
We did. We got everything, didn't we?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, I think if you told us a couple of weeks ago that we'd be going to see a place like that was within our budget, I didn't expect you to have been able to find somewhere like that for us.
You can almost imagine yourself here already. But, as I say, you've got to have a bit of thought about it.
What happens next?
Definitely want to go back to see the mystery house again. Have a look around and have a total chat about it. But, I mean, I'm pretty much sold anyway, but obviously I think you need a bit more convincing.
I probably just need to shift my mindset a little bit further east in Kent, but I couldn't ask for more from the house.
No. You do have to think about work and locations and commutes, and that I totally agree. But from a family point of view, if it is the house for you, I wouldn't sit on your hands. Thank you so much. It's been great.
Thanks.
Thank
It's been
you.
really good fun.
Well, that's it. And for a couple who are desperate to leave the capital behind, bring up their family in the Kent countryside, I think we may have found them their dream first owned home together. Now, I think Dan and Celia's reaction to our mystery house, well, it said it all, didn't it? Great house, great garden. I just hope Celia's nerves about the location and commute to work can be settled. For me, that house is a journey worth making. From the Kent countryside, goodbye. See you next time.
Dan and Celia fell in love with our mystery house, but have reluctantly concluded that the extra commute would prove too far for them. They're continuing their search in the Tunbridge area. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Northern Ireland, Scotland or Wales and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.